They are doing like
Okay.
a
Okay, so you don't
4 to
know. So
8 to like 15 years in university, and you're comparing
okay,
them to someone
so,
like you who is a woman
so
in
you
a
don't
flat
know.
earth server.
So you're just admitting right now. You're saying the Earth is a ball, but you have no idea who measured it and how it was done. Okay. Next question. Who came up with the proposal of the Big Bang Theory? Do you know?
Listen, the Big Bang Theory is stupid, and fuck you. Whoever's playing the soundtrack.
Where do you think that
Okay.
you thought? Where do you think the globe came from? Then the only hypothesis for where the globe could have come from was the Big Bang, my friend. There's no other way that a globe could have formed other than a Big Bang. Do you know that?
Okay, then
Did
it
you-
was probably a Big Bang. You know, it's called a theory for a reason.
Oh, you flip flopper!
Okay, all right.
weasel.
Next question. Okay, remember again.
Comedy gold.
The game is do you have a religiously held belief or fact-based knowledge? Right now, he has not given us any fact-based knowledge. He's just said scientists, universities. Okay, let's continue. How was the Earth measured to be spinning?
Observed from space station.
Oh, is that what they did in the 1700s? They went to space and observed the rotation. Cool story.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so you're saying they knew that the Earth was spinning before they went into outer space?
I'm asking you, did they?
Okay, I don't think that the
They
Earth.
didn't go.
I don't think that
think
it went to
exactly.
space. So,
You don't think.
okay. Oh, you're so cute. Okay, so anyways, let's keep going. So, wouldn't you agree that before they sent astronauts to the moon, they had to know the Earth was spinning, correct?
Before they sent astronauts to the moon, there were
Mhm.
models that were updated after they sent astronauts to the moon.
You're running away from what I'm saying. Before they sent anything into space, satellites, people, monkeys, before they sent anything into space, they knew it was spinning. The Earth was spinning, right?
They probably made a guess, but after restaurants went to space, they confirmed it.
Okay, when they sent a satellite to space, the Russians sent the first satellite to space. You're saying they didn't know that the Earth was spinning then? They just guessed?
I mean,
Or did they know it before? Did they know it before? Because before they even sent anything to space, they were saying that the Earth was a ball spinning in space. They were saying this. They had pictures and videos of it before they even went to space that they made.
I mean, they probably made a scientific guess before, but you wouldn't know that because you didn't do research.
So there's no way to know. There's no way to know the Earth is spinning unless you look at a video from NASA. Are you
Do you
saying?
wanna look at Google and ask how they knew the Earth was spinning before they went to space?
Well, that's your claim.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I don't need to research your claim.
You,
It's
but
obvious.
my claim is correct. Yours is false.
So where's
What's
your
that got to do
evidence
with
that
the price
that
of
your
inmate?
claim is correct?
It's backed up by scientists.
Be more specific.
Yes, be more specific.
My claim was backed up by professionals.
That's not
What?
being more specific. You're just using another vague term.
And appeal to authority as well.
Priests.
Priests.
Bruh.
So priests.
The appeal to priest fallacy.
It's the appeal to priest fallacy. So you cannot tell us. You want to bring up scientists. How did they scientifically prove that the Earth was spinning?
Wait, are you asking me?
No.
No.
Wow.
The other guy that we've been talking to for the last 15 minutes.
So you just don't know. You don't. It's okay
Wait,
to say you
me?
don't know. Yes.
Yes,
Okay, what's the
you.
question?
How did they scientifically prove the Earth is spinning?
I mean, it's like kinda obvious.
It's kind of obvious that's how they did it.
You want me to send you a video of a guy sending garlic bread to space with a camera on it?
Oh my god. Okay, so
Can
the
we just
results are
move
in.
on?
The results are in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what they are. Do you
I
have a
actually
religiously...
have a video
I
of
am
that.
actually revealing the results. So please be quiet in the audience.
Got that.
So the results are in. Does he have a religiously held belief or fact-based knowledge? The answer is a resounding religiously held belief on all accounts. That is the verdict.
What is the definition of religion? It's belief held devoid of evidence.
Exactly. Just crying, scientists. That doesn't help you at all because it's the same. You could do it for the same thing with religion. You could say people are like, well, this priest says it, so it must be true.
Which is what they do. They have doctrines, which is how they interpret things, and then people believe them. That's a religion.
Look in the live stream voice text. I sent a link to your YouTube video. Stop being stupid.
Oh, is this the Foucault's pendulum method? Sending garlic bread to space?
Yes, and with a camera on it, and you know, two
Yes.
regular people, not scientists, people
The
with brains.
camera is spinning in the video. The Earth is not actually spinning in this video, or you would see the day and night.
You can see an obvious curvature.
Oh, wow. Why is it curving on the surface?
Curving on the surface, curving on the sides.
Yeah, why is it curving on the sides on the ground when it's like all the way on the ground?
Because you can't see the other side of the Earth.
What?
So is the
What?
curvature so the curvature seen on the ground is the accurate curvature of the Earth?
Shouldn't the Earth
What do you
be
mean
spinning?
accurate? You can't like measure it unless like you have an equation or something or you're smart.
What?
So we can see the Earth curving because of the curvature of the lens closer to the ground?
Okay, so planes have lens to make you believe the Earth is
Mental.
So the
and
curvature-
also
Hold
this
on, let me ask you
guy.
a question. Menso, are you in the live stream voice text? Are you looking at?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Why?
I'll post an image for you. It's from that garlic bread video.
I saw this image
Do you-
for 6 months.
It's from your
every
garlic
time
bread. No,
I
it's
went
it's not
into
the
this.
it's not the oil rigs. It's from your garlic bread video that you mentioned. It's at
Okay.
30 minutes after the hour. Can you look at it?
I'm looking at it.
Okay, why is the horizon curved in the wrong direction in that video?
Because the bread was flipping.
The bread was flipping.
Are you
Really?
I
Bro,
made the
Menso,
packet.
please.
Wait a
Dude,
second.
it's literally doing a flip in the GIF that the guy sent.
Yeah, so
That's-
the camera's moving and then the curve changes from one shape to the other. Is that correct?
I
Well, if you
mean,
shoot garlic bread,
he-
This
it's like
is what you suggested we should watch as proof, right? Have you even looked
Well-
at this yourself? This is ridiculous, dude.
That's really stupid, but this was his proof that the Earth rotates. It wasn't even about curvature. I don't even know how he gets rotation from this.
Yo,
no,
yeah,
it's like a
stupid.
multi-proof, a proof of multiple things.
Oh, we just multiply falsified it. Crazy.
Can you not see? He just destroyed you. He's showing you that the curve of the Earth doesn't ever curve upwards like a bowl, right? So why is it showing that in this video that you posted as your evidence of curve?
It's because of the bread flipping.
What?
The bread. How come the bread isn't changing at all? Just the curve of the Earth. Why is?
So the
I just
bread is
trolling
causing
now.
the curve.
Why would the bread change?
You're saying that the curve of the Earth is changing because the bread is flipping. The bread isn't changing. What's happening is the camera and the fisheye lens is warping the background because it's moving upside down.
Yeah, it's stuck to the bread, and when the bread flips, the camera flips.
Oh, so when the camera flips, the Earth curve goes the opposite direction.
You see it on.
When the camera flips, does the Earth curve?
According to the camera, it does.
Oh, so then maybe the curve is just caused from the camera angle to begin with.
What do you mean, maybe? You don't know?
Of course we know. The camera is showing you a concaved Earth and then a curved Earth. Any curve at all is caused by the camera, period. So you're not
the concavity of the galaxy.
just showing the camera is not proving curvature.
Yes, good job. You've proven
no,
camera
this
lens
is like,
curvature.
a proof or something. This is like a random video that I just got.
Oh, so where's your proof of the curve then? Because you have so many videos from so many scientists. And the one that you brought to the table,
I'm literally
the
a random
first
guy
one that
just
you
joined.
brought to the table literally destroys your argument.
I have proof. You want
Or
proof?
Oh,
multi
show
proof.
me your proof.
Okay. My friend over here, he has proof. It's called Chicken
Okay, sweet. Bring him in. Bring him in.
But wait, before that, I want to finish. We have an opportunity for you to try to justify yourself for a final round of the religiously held belief segment. Do you want to try?
Listen, you're telling me I'm
Okay, I'm
religious
glad that
by
you want to
force.
try. All right.
Go for it,
Try.
Manso. You can do it.
I didn't even say yes.
Okay, simple questions. Okay, so are you familiar with some people will refer to different gods with the little g and then a singular god with the big G?
Huh? Different god?
Oh no. No.
Okay, listen. There's only one god, and his name is.
I'm not saying
Allah.
that, you idiot.
So
Oh,
I don't
shut
know
up,
what.
Right.
Allah,
So if you
my
were to write it
arsehole.
in English as God, like God, then you'd write a big G. And if it was someone else's claim of a god, but it wasn't real, or it was a different god or whatever, you'd write it with a little g, right?
It's literally the same word. I don't know what you're on about.
Understand that.
Wow.
Listen to what he's
All right,
saying
all right. So
fully.
you
There's no
understand.
difference.
In English, when you use the word God for like a creator, a deity, right? If someone capitalizes the G, it's to signify it's the creator, right? The actual creator, the one. If they refer to other people as having pagan gods, tons of different gods that aren't real, then it's a little g. Okay, so there's a big G and a little g, and that's how you describe different gods in English.
I do not care about the capitalization of the G word.
Well, I don't care if you care. I'm explaining it to you. So then, did you understand though? Gravity has that same thing where there's a little g and a big G.
I don't. I think it's the same word. What? Wait.
What?
So capitalizing a word gives it a different definition. Is that what you're meaning here?
What he
Well, yeah,
said, is
so
it?
gravity literally is differently defined with the little g and the big G. Yeah, that's right. You didn't know that?
You don't know what gravity is.
So
In
look, did you know
mathematics,
if you don't fully understand your religious belief, it actually extends into zealotry. You're now,
That word.
you don't get it maybe, but what I'm trying to explain to you is you don't even know what your belief is.
I know the Earth is a globe.
Well, okay, we
know
we
that.
know we know the
Yeah.
one.
Okay,
know
and
that.
everything that holds your little belief together is a thing called gravity, right? Gravity represented with a little g, right? Okay? So it's this magical force, right? This magical force that holds all of these different things together in this whole solar system. Everything depends upon it, right? Okay?
Every
Do you
planet
understand
has
that?
its own gravity.
Yeah, all of it exactly correct, so that the Earth's able to have the exact right amount of gravity for it to be in its exact position, and obviously Jupiter and the Sun itself orbit around one another around a center of gravity that's non-existent because they have a maximal level of gravity that's nearly similar, and then every other thing in every celestial body also has its gravitational force and back to the solar system in the middle. And all of these things are kept in lockstep based on this gravity, right? Everything's held together by gravity, right? You understand that? It's all encompassing force. Omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. It's your,
And
Check it out. As soon
your
as my
Omnipotent.
God,
video
right?
uploads.
Your God, right? Gravity
Right,
is
yeah.
your
Just to
big.
conclude the religious segment, my friend, the point was that just like when people refer to different gods in English with a big G or a little g, your effective god or deity is described with the big G and a little g, and big G is this creative force that coalesces everything into spheres over billions of years and holds everything together. Is the actual glue of everything that exists, and you can't fully understand it. It can't be fully explained or isolated or proven, but it is the answer to everything that we can't explain. And I have a whole bunch of other people that call themselves scientists, professors, priests, and they have different theories on how they think this big G creates everything. I just trust them, even though they don't all agree. Even though they don't all agree, that's by definition a religion.
do they call themselves scientists or are they actually
Oh,
scientists?
the actual scientists.
Yes, fuck
I'm talking about
like femboy
the
scientists from
the
Discord.
people that you are in.
Boy, science.
Well, that
You
has nothing to
say
do with anything, but okay.
He's calling his own people the proponents
I'm
of his
making
own
a
model
role.
fanboy
I'm making a
scientists.
role called
exactly.
femboy scientist now. I'm just doing it.
You have
Well,
to.
and I don't know what couldn't be more femboy than wanting another man to speak on behalf of you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
burn.
The hell, he's my best friend. What the fuck does that
But my
mean?
friend will speak for me.
Yeah,
Because
where's your
you're
friend?
scared. You're scared of speaking
You're
someone
scared, more like.
who has
Someone get
That's
this
why you're
man
getting
some
your
Neosporin.
friend.
You know what
Hey,
I'm scared
check it
of,
out.
partner? I'm scared of you going out in public ever again.
I'm scared of you
Check it
getting
out.
your.
of you.
I just
You know
made a
what?
video.
If one of
Got
you
I just
people go to public and say like the Earth is round, and someone with
I
a
do.
brain sees you, he will probably like say, "What the hell is this
The
stupid
Earth is
person
not.
doing here?"
You mean round, like a
What?
two-dimensional
Round?
shape?
Yeah, of course they would say that because the Earth isn't round. What are you on about? Of course they think we're weird. You realise you fucked up though, yeah?
Hey,
Well done.
whenever I was watching a SpaceX rocket launch and I was debating the guy that's contracted for NASA and just destroying him on camera for like 3 consecutive hours and actually made him tear up at the end of it, would you consider that guy qualified? The guy that works for NASA?
I mean, you just catch a guy off guard and like stress him out with 1,000 questions, and he's probably not even educated in the subject.
No, he literally is, and he's like responsible of taking pictures of the sky for NASA.
Okay, good for him, I guess. What's your point?
Under the
Would
bus
you
you go.
consider that one of those magical fairy tale people you keep invoking holistically when you say scientists or professionals? Would someone that works for NASA be considered a professional?
If he's just a photographer like you say he does, he just takes pictures, then I don't think so.
Astrophotography, dude. Do you not know what that is?
It's a type of like taking photos.
Yeah, and it's and it's done at NASA, right? Not exclusively,
Listen,
but
listen.
NASA does that, right?
100%. No one here went to university in like a scientific thing.
And a scientific thing.
So, what does that mean?
What does that even
Dude,
mean?
I'm an APRI certified instrumentation technician. You need to know your fucking place.
Instrumentation
exactly.
like a piano or a guitar.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm a
so just-
weaponologist.
Yeah, don't even go down that road. You wouldn't even be able to tell who in here has a university degree, but I'll tell you, there's multiple people that do have higher
Who are
education
flat
degrees.
earthers? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm working on my
dude.
second
But
college
we're not
degree right
here
now.
to-
Science,
we're not
what
here
now?
to. Yeah,
I've
we're
got a
not here to
foundation
prove
degree
that
in
to
law and
anything to
criminology,
you.
dude, and I'm a weaponologist.
Listen,
Just the
I
fact
don't
that you
care.
can't, Manso, because you're making these accusations, you're going to have to listen to me. Don't make me mute ya. Because that you can't, and this is the last thing I'm going to say to you. I've been trying to be nice to you, as has everyone else in here. The fact that you've been here for hours and don't even realize that you're outclassed intellectually is a sad situation. So I do feel pity for you. I feel bad for you. And I hope if you stick around, that you might actually learn something, but you're going to have to humble yourself, get that little attitude out of your voice, and start thinking, maybe these people are onto something, actually listening to what they're saying. Because we've just been we've been spending our time with you just to use you as an example to explain to the audience the truth about the world. But, the joke's on you. If you don't know that yet, that's fine. Maybe it'll take a while before you'll figure it out. But
Watch
that's
the
all I'm
clip
gonna say
back.
right now.
Watch the clip back, dude, and just
So,
realize how. Get
You're
wrecked.
using me as an example when you are
Yeah, we are.
1v30, 1v30, me versus
So
all of you.
what? So
Plus,
what? If it was okay, 1v1, me and you right now, you still look like a dick.
you are like, let me go bully this kid who doesn't even know
Bully this
what he's
kid. You
talking
came
about,
here, bro.
and
You
he's
came
not
here, bro.
experienced. When you mute a guy
That's
who is
not even true.
experienced,
You are the one that kept bringing up other people
You're the
while
one who
taking on one person. Yes.
you are
You kept
muting
bringing up
people
your fucking butt buddy.
who are experienced.
Is femboy.
Like
Do
He's
you
also
believe in a
Bring your fanboy.
creator? Do you believe in a creator, Manso?
Funny, because the Quran says it's flat.
I don't
I was
care. That's like the least.
I was going to
of my
ask you that. Do you believe in a creator?
That's the
Does.
least of my interest.
Muslim. No, it's
You
not.
didn't
You
say
said
earlier.
earlier.
Yeah, that you said
You
earlier.
couldn't
The
take the
creator's name
God.
is Allah. Did you not say that?
Yeah, and that's the least of my interest.
Okay, so you said the creator is Allah, and you believe that to be true.
Probably, but it's like very
So why
flawed.
does the Quran say that the creator spread out the earth, and the verb they choose, daha, means to flatten? Why
Are
would
there
they
any
use that
Muslims
word?
here?
What?
Are there any Muslims here?
Yes.
There are Muslims in this server, yes.
Okay, so kick all of them because they are pedophiles.
Oh dear.
Man, oh my god.
See,
What?
this guy
Wow.
was just here to
See, that's
troll
what,
fucking
dude, no, that's what you
troll
need
the
to
charge.
realize. He just came here. It must be really hard for him. He's probably like 17, stuck in France or wherever you're living, some poor femboy communist dictatorship country. And you are literally just being disheveled and destroyed intellectually. You have a belief that you have no evidence of. And then a religion that you subscribe to also says the earth is flat. And you're going to sit here and you're going to lie.
It just
You're
says
going to
it's a
sit there and you're going
carpet.
to lie.
And that's like, not everything in the Quran is literal.
Is this scary to you that a bunch of people smarter than you
He's
know is flat?
Is it scary that I'm 1v40ing a whole server with like no expertise in this
I'm not
game?
sure.
I don't
what
hear
has to do
40
with my
people
question.
talking.
Yeah, I asked a question
Hey,
about something.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of the truth? Is that what it is? Is your defense mechanism to get kind of like a bully? When you're faced with something that challenges your
You act
worldview?
like a female, dude. Sorry to say, you take offense and then you want to cry and bitch and complain about things. That's a feminine thing. It's not a masculine thing.
Well,
You're
I'd say it's more of a
proving-
childish
you're
thing.
Not you, bro.
proving points. Like, let's actually talk about Earth being
Great
flat.
curvature, go. Please
Yeah,
find the
like-
curvature.
Yeah, I agree. The only reason I went down that road is because you're claiming that you have some kind of, you've done this many times. You're claiming that you have some kind of, ESP knowledge of who in here is educated, who isn't, what degrees we have. All that's irrelevant. I'm not even going to tell you what degrees I have because I don't. It's not worth it. There's no point. You should be able to be a person on the earth who can evaluate information on its face, not based on the source of the information. So it doesn't. We have people here who have degrees. We have people here who don't. It doesn't matter. If you'd been educated well enough to actually examine the information on its face, you wouldn't need all the fallacious reasoning that you keep resorting to, like the genetic fallacy of where the information comes from, whether the person has a degree or not, and so on, or your constant appeal to authority fallacy. So many fallacies. I mean, this guy, seriously, like, we're going to have a fallacy event coming up here on the 20th. Like, I almost feel like we should invite this guy as Exhibit A. Because, I mean, has he not gone through, like, almost every fallacy there possibly is today? Like, I mean, it's amazing. Like, you are a fallacy machine, Monso.
Okay, listen.
It's fine. Like, it's not about you, though. I apologize for bringing it there. I only brought it there because you are trying to say that you know what
everyone that are Muslims
you
are pedophiles
do
as well.
not. So you need to stop talking about us. You need to start looking at the information. It has nothing to do with what you've been told flat earthers are. You need to look at this information with fresh eyes. That's what a person who has real intellectual curiosity will do. So if you're a person who's actually interested, you need to calm down. I understand what you're saying about being overwhelmed with, all these people here. But, what's interesting to me is your globe, if it's so easy to prove, like you told me, I'll just Google it. No problem. Why haven't you been able to do it? It should be very easy for you, man. And you haven't done it. So where's your best proof of curvature? Where's your best proof of rotation? Go.
Listen. I know what I'm talking about. You're like, oh, we have smart people, which are probably like went to university and have a degrees. Listen, I don't care about the people who like have a degree. Like,
all of a sudden degrees don't matter. Look at that. Hold on, I got it. No, I'm sorry, you can't flip flop like that in 5 minutes and get away with it. You just told us how stupid we are, that none of us could possibly have degrees. We don't know what we're talking about. Real scientists and lab coats have figured this all out. Now all of a sudden degrees don't matter. Fascinating, man. So, okay, let's set all that aside and again answer the question I asked, which is, what's your best proof of curvature or rotation?
You didn't let me finish and you muted me. I wasn't going to say...
because that's irrelevant. You just told me it doesn't matter, so we aren't going to talk about it anymore. Answer the question I asked, or we'll mute you and go back to Gijan, except he's deafened now. We'll find somebody new. Answer the question I asked. If somebody said to you, Manso, save your life, you need to prove to me we're on a spinning globe. You got 1 minute. What would you say? Time's ticking.
Me if I say something that actually convinces you?
If you don't answer my question, then you got 50 seconds left. Time's ticking.
Bro, I'm getting bullied by women. What? Okay, let me answer.
Yeah, it's rough, isn't it, man? So what's
Hold on, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Why'd you say that?
Because
she's intellectually beat you up, yeah? Sorry that you're soft.
She's worth like 10 of you intellectually, so why'd you say that?
A flat earther is worth like 100.
She just destroyed you. She just destroyed you by
30 seconds
like
remaining.
5-word questions. You literally can't even answer point forward little questions.
Okay, the earth is a globe. What do you want?
Evidence. So prove it then.
What do you prove it? It's so obvious. You just see it. You see there.
Whoa,
where do you see it? Actually, we've been showing you over and over again that we don't see it, so please
okay,
show us.
You people have no working maps or no working
That's
model of how the sun and the moon works.
Map works. Every map works. Maps work.
What are you trying to mean by you people? You racist or something?
Yo, it's just called, first of all, you're strawmanning us based on how you think we think it works, and you're also poisoning the well, grouping everyone together that's not dumb enough to still believe the Earth's a ball once they actually look into it. So we're going to get back to the facts here, which is that you have no facts that can prove that the Earth's a spinning ball, right? That's why you keep shifting your feet over to other random claims to divert away.
Can I just talk to someone? I say something and then I hear sentences from 10 different people. What the hell?
It's an open panel.
Prove the Earth
It's an
is
open
spinning. It's the
channel.
same question from all the different people. Prove the Earth is a spinning globe. Go.
Can I have a partner?
Can you answer
Yes.
these questions?
Yes, you
I'll do
can.
it.
Is it a man? As long as it's a man, yeah.
Yeah, you have
He
problems
wants
with
to
women.
phone a friend. He wants to phone a
Wait.
friend. Well, I'll
Can I
unmute
help him?
Gijon. Gijon is deafened right now, but
I
I'll
think
unmute
we
him. So
should
if he
let him
comes
phone a
back, he
friend.
can rescue his Betty. Yeah.
Okay.
What
You need
friend
to
do you
DM your
want to phone?
friend.
Gijon. Yeah, Gijon is a deafened. Do you have another friend you want to phone there, Manso?
Give me a 5-minute break. I'll go to
That
his
1
house
minute's been
and tell him to
long
come back.
past.
Yeah,
I
this
know
dude
he's
said,
gone,
"Can I
isn't
have
he?
my
Yes,
partner?"
yeah.
So in that 5
His
minutes,
life was on the line.
find some humility in that 5. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Here,
If
you
his
can
life
take
was on the line
15.
for that
I'm the
1
best
minute,
person you can find.
he would have lost his life by then.
You
Yeah,
should
poor
be
guy.
humiliated. You're even here.
R.I.P.
But hey, here's the question I
Is your
wanted to ask.
friend
You were bringing
You're
up the
being
university.
is
humiliated.
your friend a Muslim?
Wait, before that, before you flip flopped over from the university thing, you were acting like, "Oh, you people, there's no way any of you have any degrees or qualifications from universities. You're all stupid, blah blah blah." And then we brought up, like, for one, actually, tons of people in this room do. But my question is, because you flip flopped on that once pressed on it. But the question is, so when universities didn't exist, and then people came up and discovered tons of scientific information that the universities then taught based on what they discovered before the university existed, can we disqualify them as anything that we should consider valid because they didn't have a degree from university?
Listen, I didn't flip-flop on anything. This woman mutes me whenever she wants and she plays with my
Yeah, but
words.
whenever
I
you
was gonna
talk
say,
about
oh,
start
university.
complaining and
buddy,
The
whining,
thing
buddy.
that I was gonna say
as
is,
soon as you
oh,
get the mic, you start
universities,
whining about something. Instead of
bro.
whining in the mic, use your time to present your evidence. Stop complaining when you get the
Answer the
microphone. Maybe
question,
you won't
dude.
be
If
muted.
someone came up with something and was an expert in a field prior to the existence of university, and then university taught their discoveries, they were qualified without a degree from a university, right?
Am I allowed to talk without being interrupted?
It's a simple question. Answer the question.
Oh, so I can only say what you want me to say.
No, you can only
That's
answer the question. Yeah, yeah, you can only answer the question. That's right.
You've kind of got to the point where you don't get much leeway at this point, yeah.
So I can't say what I want.
Can you answer the question? So how about this? I'll phrase another one for you. You just can't answer questions. You're like a robot, right? So if Nikola Tesla discovered electricity in the very way that we use it in the electrical grid, Nikola Tesla, he dropped out of college. So can we not use the AC generator and electricity because he discovered it without a piece of paper from a university?
Are you comparing yourself to someone with an IQ of like over 180?
No, answer the question.
He had an
It's a
IQ
yes
of
or no. It was a yes
178.
or no question, man. So it was a yes or no question. Can you just
Got it
answer
wrong
it?
anyway. 178. Got it wrong.
Yeah, your hero Elon Musk, who supposedly goes to space, dropped out of college. I guess he's just not qualified for space either.
I dropped
You're
out
not
of school and
like,
I've got an IQ of 168. Oh, what does that prove? Nothing. It's pattern recognition, bro.
these
Load of
close-ended
bollocks.
questions make you
How
seem
low of
right,
an IQ do
however
you
I
have to
answer
not
them.
be able to answer direct questions?
Right,
With an
and like
extremely low
not only
IQ.
not be able to answer direct questions, but immediately talk about other people's IQs.
Well, what makes us seem right is that you've been in here arguing for the globe for 10 hours and you have no evidence for it at all.
Close-ended
me and
questions
you
that
both
make you
dropped
seem
out.
right, however my answer is.
How was it
What?
close-minded? We were asked we asked you to just present some proof. That's as open-ended as it gets, bro.
And here's another one. You wouldn't have to comment on the style of questioning if you could just answer the question.
Like I said, close-minded question that proves that
Or
you
you
are
could just
right,
do that again.
whatever I say.
He's all yours,
Asking you
guys.
to present one piece of evidence is close-minded questions. I think that's as pretty open-ended as it gets, man.
No, it's because I want to answer in a different way, and you're
Okay,
like, oh no, only yes or no.
No. It was a yes or no question. That's the problem. And you just
Sure,
answered with
ask.
another question. But no, what we were asking you for is any proof of curvature or rotation. Do you not understand how, if you had that, this conversation would already be over? You've already admitted when you went through the 3 points with napalm that the globe is a belief for you. You have no proof of curvature or rotation. You just admitted that again, when your best proof is just to say the Earth is a globe with no explanation, no proof, no evidence whatsoever. So do you not understand It makes your arguments very questionable when you're sitting here trying to attack us, which really means nothing to us, just so you know. Like, we really don't care what your opinion of us is. Like, we know who we are. We know what the truth is. We know there's no evidence of the globe. You're the one who's not getting it. So where's the disconnect between you admitting the globe is a belief and then still trying to attack us when we're here trying to help you to see? You've admitted it. How many times has he admitted it this afternoon? Like 10 or more times you've admitted you have no scientific evidence for the globe. It's only a belief. So why do you still insist that, Manso, I'm almost done. Why do you still insist that there's some kind of deficit with flat earthers when we're the ones here trying to get you to engage your will, logic, and reason to observe the world around you and to get the way you describe it to match up with reality, not just with a belief because of a story you saw on TV or you believed from an authority. So yeah, if you want to just believe it because everybody else says so and because it's easier for you, because you obviously must be afraid of, like, other people making fun of you or something. There's no other reason why you come in here and be the way you are. I mean, your only argument is making fun of other people. It's a very weak position in the world. Like, you would be way better off if you could go out in the world and declare things, not just try to tear other people down. It doesn't work with us because we're resilient people, because we're grounded in reality and so on. So I don't know if it works for you other places, but I can't really think that it does, So maybe just consider re-examining your beliefs that have no evidence and think, oh, maybe I should find out what's really going on in this world. Would you consider doing that, Manso?
You're not resilient people. You just mute
my
who you think
goodness.
is right.
Oh my goodness. That's what you got out of what I said? Really? Okay, I'm done with this guy. You guys have fun. But maybe you'll think about what I said maybe late at night. And maybe something will get through to you. I don't know what to tell you, man. So if that's what you got out of what I said, that you're going to try to attack the idea that we're resilient people. I mean, you want us to present evidence because we could all day long, but we're not going to, because this is about you. And if you even had a tiny bit of humanity left in you, you would realize that there's something to this, that there's something to these arguments, and they need to be explored further. So, we'll just see.
Man, so that's what I think. What we're going to do is to give you a chance to answer this question, okay? And it won't be yes or no. You can explain it how you want to. If you do not answer the question that's being asked, though, I think we've almost reached the time where we're going to have to retire your mic for a little bit, or you're just going to have to control yourself and sit out for a little bit, because you're going to have to be honest, right? Or it's just a waste of time. So I'm going to ask you I'm just going to ask you, and if you can be honest and pass this test, then maybe we'll let you continue to talk and just be free again, but you're really testing my patience. So if we see mountains from 255 miles away, and based on the globe Earth math, they should be blocked by 3 miles of vertical up and down Earth curvature. Yet we can see the mountains, and they should be blocked by a mile above the top of the mountains. Yet we can see all of them and even the shoreline. How is that possible on a globe?
What the hell is a mile? You mean a kilometer?
No, I don't mean a...
Okay,
Are there any other new people in here? Anybody in YouTube that wants to come in? Discord.gg/flat earth. We'd love to talk to you about your globe. If you've got any evidence to present for us, we would love to hear it. Oh, Adam Unsalted has this great meme. I got to put it up here. He made it in the memes competition. I'm going to put it up here in a minute. But yeah, if there's anybody else, because your buddy here, he's struggling here, man. So he even said... he's 1 against 40 or whatever he said. It's like, come on, guys, you're leaving him to struggle out here by himself, completely unequipped to defend the fantasy globe. Is there no one else
Yeah,
Are there
and
no other contenders?
Hopefully you can come with something better than what's a mile.
Yeah. I mean, if you think you can muster up the honesty to answer the question, I guess at someone in the text chat and we'll consider it. But you've been allowed to run amok much too long, and like she told you, we actually utilize these type of interactions to show people how to never respond to this information, and they get to see, oh, I never want to be on that side. Why I impulsively have to lie, make stuff up, try to distract, be dishonest, and insult the other person personally over and over and over.
Ad hoc.
Most of my emails that say that I woke them up to flat earth was saying that they stumbled upon a debate I had, and the other person's body language and behavior is what made them realize it. Like that there was something to the earth. Like most of my emails. So you're a good example, bro.
Yes, thank you for that. With it, this young man is an example of what I call like a simpleton, and I say that with no disrespect, but just to say that he has no idea how to articulate his understanding or beliefs, but he relies on the experts to do so.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
there's such a thing as the consensus state, and people who have not gotten into an individuated state, it's literally impossible for them to, it's a thing they have to go through. Like he hasn't gone through it. Like he is literally wed to the consensus state. Whatever they say is true. He's just going to go for it, and that's fine. Like not everybody can handle it. That's perfectly fine. We can still. I will do my best to be kinder to him. I'm sorry, Manso, if you feel like I was too harsh on you. Sometimes I do that just a little bit, like just to see like. Is there any chance of waking him up, like, by getting back? Like, your method of communication is putting other people down, like I said, tearing them down, attacking other people, not really looking at the arguments, and so on. So, like, sometimes you think, like, whoa, that gets through to him then if I talk to him in his language? Will he get anything if I give him a truth that I've been holding back from him because I don't want to be too mean, even though it's glaringly obvious to everyone in the room? Will that help him? And in your case, I would say it wouldn't. So I'm going to stop doing it, and I will try to be kinder to you. But Manso, if you need anything in the server going forward, just let me know. And if you ever want any more information or decide to start, questioning things, there's plenty of people here who will help you. There's A to Z channels down at the bottom. If there's anyone listening who would like to come in and feels like they're ready to have an actual discussion, without logical fallacies and so on, and a back and forth with anyone, we welcome you in. And so I hope you stick around.
Actually, I would consider him something different. I would consider him a normie, one of the laymen's who's like off the street, who perhaps is too busy with his career to even contemplate reality because what he's doing is working for him.
That's right. Yep. And so that's fine. So what we tell people like you then, Manso, is that's fine. Just, stay watching your TV, saying it's a globe, chanting that over and over, stick with your religion that you don't realize is a religion. You'll get great feedback from everyone around you. I don't really know why you've hung out here as long as you have. What are you trying to get out of this, Manso? Are you trying to convince us that this is a globe?
If you're actually serious, or is this just a meme?
Oh, okay. So what's your diagnosis? Are we serious?
I want to kill myself.
Well, it's not that big of a deal.
I think
does every other Muslim.
Just go see a therapist, but
so does every other Muslim that you called a paedophile earlier also.
Again, I say, are there no other contenders? This is the best you guys have to defend your globe. Seriously, come on.
Well,
any proof of curvature, any rotation.
Manso, I want you to understand, bro. We don't want you to jump in unless you're going to answer the last question I asked you, okay? And I don't even think you have let it soak in. I don't think that you're in a state of mind to even be able to hear and understand things.
Repeat it.
Okay. If we see mountains from 255 miles away, the globe Earth says it should be blocked by 3 miles of Earth curvature. How did we see the mountains all the way to the shore?
Upside down.
Less water, probably.
Less water, probably.
My God, you got it right. You got it right. That's the my days. Well done. You got it right. You got it right.
In a way, less water in the air, so it's clearer. So see further. You're right.
So welcome to Flat Earth.
Globe, though.
Snacks in the back. Snacks in the back, all the pedos that want to kill you on the left. I mean, Muslims. Shit.
I just want to say, do not kill yourself. We all have bad days. Tomorrow's going to be a better day.
Absolutely, and there's a suicide hotline you can call if you have problems. Good advice, Godric.
And this might come as a shocker, but you actually also can entertain the possibility of being honest.
I got proof of sphericity.
Wow.
Sphericity?
Oh, yeah. Using an accepted premise, means, and methodology with measurement, I have proven my kitchen is spherical.
Liar.
So you using a method like the one that I'm uploading right now? It's 69 megabytes, so it's going to take a while.
That's not.
I use the same method that they use. I use the same method that they use to claim it's a globe. And I have measured, used that method. And therefore, that being accepted premise, my kitchen is also a globe.
Is that why every time you make an omelet, you try to make an omelet, you're dropping the eggs on the floor because you use your kitchen as a sphere?
Jamesy.
Has nothing to do with me being a bad cook. That's correct. It's been spherical this whole time.
Can I eat?
I guess you just couldn't even tell. It's like it's spherical, but you just can't tell.
It's just such a big sphere.
Yeah, you just never can actually see that it's a sphere anywhere.
Well, no, according to my kitchen refraction, which is a variation of 7/6R of my kitchen, yeah, it makes it look flat. So we can get the measurements that need to be flat.
Damn, how do you take a shower?
Well, now it's a form of gravity in my kitchen that pulls everything to the center of my kitchen.
But you have a pretty big kitchen.
And like a drain in the middle.
No, my kitchen is only 85 inches in radius.
That's big.
Wow, man. So, like, I guess since your kitchen's a sphere, but you can't even tell ever, it actually might be spinning around and you can't tell either.
Hold on 1 sec.
Definitely spinning.
Put a gyro that establishes its own rigidity. If we see it ever change, then we'll know that your kitchen is actually spinning.
Wait, shit, if I sent you the videos of those gyroscopic balls that have got like inside of them, they're made of like carbon fiber. They've got like propellers, so that when you throw them in the air, they obviously show rigidity in free space. Because like whatever bias you place into the spinning gyroscope before you throw it into the air, it does the exact opposite motion as using obviously the way the gyroscope works with the precession of the ring and etc., right? And effectively it returns back to your hand in midair. Like you throw it up in the air and it flies around. It's like a circle, like a boomerang, and returns to your hand as a sphere. Pretty awesome.
You ever done that with a spinning wheel and thrown a spinning wheel up in the air like a frisbee?
Yes.
And you notice that it flies up and comes right back at you? Yeah.
So if your kitchen is 89 inches radius That's the measurement that you said, or everything should be rolling off. Everything. There should be like things falling down the hill.
What? And how do you know that's not actually your bathroom?
It was a bathroom, but they converted it into a kitchen. That's doable.
Without knowing if it was a sphere or not? Come on! Give me a break.
And that makes no sense. The rest did, but that didn't. I made this new PC. I got a new computer. So
everything, if you build a building and that's the radius of your kitchen, everything should be on the walls because they will be contained and falling down the hill, but it'll be contained with the wall. You just do the math and make the kitchen a sphere. That's it. So we're gonna use this moment of silence for the ISS. It's gonna be retired and crash into the oceans of the Earth. Rest in peace. RIP ISS.
Bermuda Triangle as well. Did you hear about all the other space so-called spacecrafts that for some reason due to spatial storms have somehow started to crash, land, and explode and stuff like that?
Yeah, apparently 40 satellites from Starlink were damaged by a storm up in the skies, and it damaged the satellites, and they fell down back to Earth, like everything.
They're probably related to that Freedom of Information Act on the ISS.
Were the balloons recovered or not?
Who knows? They probably landed in the Bermuda Triangle, the same place they're probably going to send the ISS.
So what they showed about this satellite, it's kind of interesting because I think there was some type of event that something was falling from the sky, some lights, or I don't know what it was, but there's apparently some footage, and they're saying, yeah, this is what it is. It's 40 satellites that got damaged and they're falling. So that footage, they might be saying that was satellites, but it's probably something else that happened, some observable phenomena from the skies. And now they're saying that in a certain day they're gonna do something similar is gonna happen to the ISS. That should be an event because that's a big. Supposedly that's a huge craft. So if it starts falling from the sky into the atmosphere, it should be visible and it should be some type of event. And they're probably gonna say, yeah, that was the ISS, something like that. That's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of weird, that space stuff. That kind of sounds. It points for some type of event that we might see in the sky, and they'll say, "Yep, the ISS is falling. That's why you're seeing this."
Well, if there never was an ISS ever, and they've been asked to prove that the ISS to investigate it, someone might want to just destroy it to make sure there's no evidence left.
Hey guys, just so you know, I put evidence of my curved kitchen. My spherical kitchen, my spherical kitchen in the live stream voice text. It's an entire video. Unicorn actually done the measurements for me and the math.
Well, you could have just used garlic toast.
Well, I'm thorough.
Hey, how do you make flat bread on a sphere kitchen?
Well, nobody's claiming the ground underneath the bread is curved. See, that's the trick. But it's still a sphere.
How does bread rise if gravity's real?
I didn't make up the story, guys. I just used it in practice to prove my kitchen was a sphere.
if gravity can hold bodies of water in a curved shape, and Kansas is flatter than a pancake, why is it not at the bottom of a lake?
You're asking why it's not flat at the bottom of a lake?
On a ball, like they claim the water can hold its shape to the ball and create the sphere. So a flat spot on the ball would necessarily be a container for water in their idea. So Kansas being flatter than a pancake would mean that it would just contain water.
I guess I'd have to work that out. You're saying that a flat container would contain the water if Kansas was flatter than a pancake?
No, I'm saying if the globe were true and gravity were holding water in a spherical hill, even though water cannot support itself, then any flat surface on the ball would automatically become a container for water.
With a round dome of water on the top of the flat container, you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
guess
the bigger the flatness, the more pronounced and obvious that would be. So Kansas would be at the bottom of a lake, according to the Globers.
I guess I could see that reasoning potentially.
The whole of the USA is actually flatter than a pancake, so that whole bit should be a lake. I first thought of this when I looked at the salt flats.
Maybe
because salt flats get flooded, and the average height of the water is about a meter. So there isn't a giant bulge in the middle of the salt flat like you would expect on a ball. So it doesn't really work.
Are we talking about Bolivia or Bonneville? They both flood.
I think it was Bolivia.
Okay, because the Bonneville, it's the same thing. I know they're just
and also
bigger
when you
salt
say
flats in Bolivia.
and when you say like a bulge in the middle of it, and you're comparing it to the water depth. I mean, unfortunately, according to the globe, even if the bulge was there, the water would still maintain the same depth.
Oh, plus I think it's not even a foot deep. I think it's like super shallow, like you look like Jesus walking everywhere.
Yeah, it can go up to a meter, I think, at most, but it can generally be a lot less. But the point is that it's equal across the whole flat, and it doesn't vary based on any gravity creating any hills of water or bulges, so they're screwed. Otherwise, we wouldn't get these kind of reflections. They would be distorted because the ground wouldn't be a flat mirror reflecting. It would be bulging like in a circus mirror.
I like the Bonneville pictures better because there's a lot more land features, and like the reflections look a lot cooler. Here.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, everyone knocks the states, but we got every single landscape here. We have desert, we have jungle, we have rainforest. We actually have what's it called? The cold rainforest. It's in Olympia National Forest. Gets down to like 38 degrees, and it's raining, and the whole thing is covered in moss. It's really pretty.
No to Joe Biden.
The what?
Joe Biden.
Say Joe Biden?
Yes, Joe Biden.
What about him?
He's a pedo. He worshipped.
Oh. I mean, water is wet.
I mean Joe Biden.
What about the rice price in China?
Joe Biden says under 18 no marriage. That's bad. No Joe
But
Biden.
we're not here to talk about Joe Biden and that. What do you think?
Yeah,
But the earth is flat. It's a fact. No need to discuss none. Let's discuss about Joe.
Yeah, anyone who wants power is a bad guy, so it's a fact, so we don't have to discuss that. So let's not talk about negative things. Let's talk about positive things.
Let's get it.
Okay.
What positive? I can't think.
Like something intellectually stimulating.
Babies. Eating food while having too happy.
Don't let it get you down. It's only the globe burning. We found it that it's not turning. No, not turning at all.
Hello?
You won't come around.
Hello.
Can I ask you something?
Me? Yes.
I don't know anyone who believes the earth is flat.
Yes, عربي يا صاحبي.
Sure, I'll take you. What's up?
Wait, you're Arabian? Are you also Muslim?
Yes.
When was Aisha's age when Prophet Muhammad married her?
9.
Okay, isn't that considered pedophilia?
Wasn't that a
Because
ceremonial
you follow
marriage?
the rules of the government. Who said you can't marry if you're not 18? Government.
So pedophilia is a social construct.
Hold on. Wasn't
no, pedophilia is a government.
Hold on. Wasn't that a betrothal anyway?
Oh, what?
Wasn't that a betrothal?
Pedophilia is a government term.
A promisal marriage. Look, man, you gotta, don't interrupt. Wasn't Muhammad and Aisha, wasn't that a promise to marry? Because it's a betrothal. That's what a marriage is.
They married
She's an adult. She was adult.
at 9.
Yes.
Yeah, for all of history, children have been being betrothed for all of history. But a betrothal is like marriage, but there's no sex or anything like that. It's just a promise that when they're of age, they're going to bear you children.
Ah, I get it. Okay, whatever. What part of Arabia are you from?
Me, Palestine. Free Palestine.
Wait. So Israel? Okay, I'm joking.
كيف حالك؟
هل أنت تصدق أن
الأرض
الأرض مسطحة؟
Yes, نعم. Of course.
أنت غبي.
شكرا.
This
Discuss with
guy
them.
actually believes that the earth is flat, and he's Arabian.
Aye. Goodbye. See you later. Discuss with them, boy. Bye.
You're a humiliation to Arabs.
So, you keep speaking about this belief in your mind, this preconcept assumption of that you know something about people in here, and you're saying that people here believe the earth is flat or something like that.
Yes, the people here believe the earth is flat, which is, in my opinion, not really
Not a
smart.
belief. It's not a belief.
Wait, my fact versus your belief.
Oh, hold on. You don't have any facts. What you have are interpolations.
My fact is a fact. Your opinion is not a fact until it's proven.
No,
So
what
try
you
to
have
prove
are
it
what
to
you
me.
have are interpolations. You don't have any facts. What?
You're using
Give me a
big
fact.
words.
Give me a fact. Give me a fact.
Okay, I will give you one fact. The Earth
me
is a
one.
globe.
No, I said give me a fact. That's something that can prove that.
I just gave you a fact. I don't know what you want from me.
It's not a fact because it hasn't been proved. How would you prove it?
It has been proven, unlike yours.
How?
Give me a proof.
No. I'm
Give me a
asking
proof.
you. You're the one making the claim. What we experience is what we experience. I'm asking you to tell me what your claim is.
Okay, my claim is that. You already know what my claim is. Why are you asking me?
Yeah, I want proof for your claim. What is it?
You want me to prove to you that the Earth is a globe?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you obviously didn't do enough research, but if you Google, there's like a million results.
No, I asked for proof. I didn't ask for pictures.
How do you want me to give you proof? Do you want me to like fly
So
you
you're
around
saying
to
there?
the
No.
atmosphere?
Are you saying you can't measure it?
Hey, Beeb, I just want to let you know that this guy, he had like a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours. Like, we were done with him. Just so have fun with him for his second time.
Okay.
Just
I'll
know
just have some fun
know
with
it's
him.
his second time. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Listen, unlike you,
Manso, how do we
you're
experience? How do we experience the Earth, Manso? How do we
insecurity
experience it?
about being a flat earther, which is
How do
like
we?
obvious.
I'm not a flat earther though, so that's a problem, isn't it?
Oh, you're like what? A cube earther now?
No, I'm not.
What
I'm
are
asking you, what do you experience?
I experience living in an Earth that is a globe. Now, let
You
me ask
experienced the
you.
globe. Now, how did you? Well, hold
After,
on. No, I asked you what you experience. How do you experience a globe? You've made a claim.
I mean, well, you know,
Do you
we're
drive
too
over it? Do you have
small.
to navigate over it? Do you navigate over it or measure it?
We are too small to notice something that's
Okay,
like this
so what you're
big.
presenting me as something unfalsifiable, then, right?
Listen, if you go up,
Well,
will
you just
see
said
it.
we're too small to see it.
Yes.
But then you know it's there, so that's
Yes.
unfalsifiable.
It's not, because people
That's
actually went
unfalsifiable,
up.
which means it violates the very first principle of science. I can throw it out.
People
I don't
went.
even have to consider it.
How? People went up.
If you can't physically prove it, I don't even have to consider it. How are you yourself going to physically prove it? Do you even have that knowledge? What's the circumference? What's the circumference of the Earth? Why don't you tell me that?
Okay, so I just
If
grab
you
a
can't tell
ruler.
me, if you can't tell me the circumference of the Earth, we're just going to end the conversation here permanently.
You don't know the circumference of flat
24,901 miles. There's why would there be a
And you measured it
circumference?
with like a
Why
ruler.
would there be a circumference to a plane?
Wait, when you were measuring
How
it,
do you have a circumference on the ground unless you're measuring two-dimensionally?
when you finished measuring it, did you go to the edge and you nearly fell over?
Who said anything about an edge?
Then what's in the edge of the flat Earth?
What are you talking about? What edge? Why are you saying there's an edge?
There has to be an end to a flat
Why?
Earth.
Why?
So
Where's
it
the
just
end of
goes
your
in-
universe? So you have
so
a
it just
universe
goes
that you believe.
infinite?
Hold on. You have a universe. Where's the edge of the universe?
It always keeps expanding. It never
It
stops
always
expanding.
keeps expanding. So again, there's something you're claiming that you could never ever test.
It's tested and it's
You are
proven.
making a claim that can never be tested or experienced scientifically.
It's proven scientifically. Flat Earth is
So
not science.
hold on.
It's
So you've
stupidity.
flown. Someone actually sent a probe to the edge of the universe to say that it's expanding.
They analyzed the nearby resources to find out what is happening to the fire.
Nearby the sources. Explain. I need you to explain. Was that through parallax trigonometry? What was it?
Probably quantum science physics or something.
Quantum science physics. You're a retard. See ya.
You know, I don't have a PhD.
He's been going on like this for more than 2 hours.
Yeah, I deafened him and muted him so that he can't even listen in unless he's on the YouTube channel.
All right. Wow, that was a long run.
Him and his friend are both crazy sophists.
With the combo
Quantum science physics. Love it.
This guy's not even good at sophistry, though.
No, I like people who are good at sophistry because they're fun, right?
Yeah, the other guy was better at sophistry in general. This guy's just, I'm sad to say it, just dumb.
He's a retard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that he came looking for an argument about pointing people as pedophiles or something. He wanted to talk about pedophilia in here.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not even a Muslim, and I adequately defended that. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Can somebody show him the verses in the Quran that explain a flat, stationary Earth? Maybe he'll believe the religion if he doesn't believe the science.
Yeah, he's not. That guy's not a Muslim, though, that we were just talking to.
No, there's no way. I mean,
he talks about Allah. I think he's a Muslim.
No, he said, yeah, but he accused Muhammad of being a
about religion in
pedophile.
general,
So he was bashing Islam, is what he was doing.
Yeah, he was.
Oh wow!
No.
So he's not.
And I don't.
Science.
Yeah, and I'm not Muslim, but I'm not going to let people bash a religion in here.
Yeah, he was an atheist from a Muslim country.
Right.
He's a yellow jacket from France, guys.
A yellow
He's
jacket?
one of the main
I didn't
things with
know.
purple.
I didn't know you were allowed to be an atheist in most of those countries, though. Like, I thought that was capital punishment.
To keep it secret. You have to keep it secret.
No, that's why they go to Europe to be able to do that.
Yeah,
atheism isn't even actually a thing. Atheism doesn't exist.
Look, there's a very small amount of extremely talented, intelligent atheists, but over 80% of them have a sub 80 IQ, and that I'm not making that up. Them straight facts. From a survey that was done by an Indian doctor in England like 12 years ago or something. They found out that atheists are mostly complete morons.
So that's in the sheeple range.
Yeah, of course.
And their main
Hey,
To be honest,
please don't
sub
insult
80
sheep.
is
Call them what they are. They're
retarded.
cattle, not sheep.
To be honest, sub 80
I hate that sheep have been bashed the way they are. Anyone who's raised sheep,
they're smart.
Knows that that's not how they are. They're smart and they're rebellious.
Cows are stupid and beast-like.
Cows are stupid and do everything you say. These people are cattle, not sheep.
Cattle. Moo.
Yeah.
Just take me to the slaughterhouse.
Moo. Because you don't slaughter lamb. You don't slaughter sheep, do you? You don't slaughter sheep, do you? You fleece them.
No, but we slaughter pigs and we slaughter cows. Chickens too.
I get that people say that they're atheists or whatever, but is it actually a thing?
No, there's no such thing as atheism.
Yeah.
You literally cannot be an atheist because the position that is required is literally agnosticism. Because
agreed.
How they define atheism is a non-position, and the non-position would be the withholding of a conclusion, which is agnosticism. Because the atheist cannot make a positive claim that atheism is true. Therefore, he has to, by definition of the term, be an agnostic.
Exactly.
So they're really suffering from a what is the fallacy where you have the same definition but two different terms. I can't believe I forgot the name of the fallacy. Identification or
double
equivocation.
Not equivocation.
False equivalence?
No, not a false equivalence. It has to do with identity.
Identity crisis.
That's better. It's let me find out what it is. Oh, I can't believe it.
Incredulity?
Oh man, no, not incredulity. It is. Hold on, I'll be back in a minute because this is gonna bug me.
But yeah, you're right. It's ironic. They can't say that they know there is no creator, so it's like it's not even actually a thing that exists. Really dumb. Of course, they have lower IQs. It's just the worldview is dumb.
What's the name of that fallacy when you forget the name of the fallacy? Sorry, go ahead.
I thought if you have an IQ lower than 80, you get a check for being retarded.
Yeah. Well, I'll say, I think that a lot of people haven't actually even intellectualized that part of their worldview, as crazy as it is. So you'll have some that have higher IQs, Like they think they're atheists, but they haven't even actually intellectually dissected it. So you can have a decently high IQ and be willfully ignorant simultaneously.
The fool says in his heart there is no God.
IQ is not equivalent to education, right?
Yeah, well, that introduces the other reason that introduces the other reason I think atheism is not actually a thing is because the fool says in his heart, well, what does his subconscious spirit say? So I think that everyone knows there's a creator.
Yep.
They don't know exactly how to characterize it, consciously. Well, some don't, I would say. Does that make sense? So, I mean, you can't tell me that there's someone that exists that doesn't know there's, let's say, for example, linear code of ethics or moral objectivity. They can try to argue it, but they know there is objectively a linear code of ethics. Objective standards of morality.
I think most atheists just straw man what God is and then beat up that straw man and claim that they're an atheist. There's no guy in the clouds with a white beard, so I'm an atheist because I can't prove that there's a guy in the clouds with a white beard. So they straw man what God is.
Exactly. So all they've done is attack a certain version or characterization of a God, but
yes, Trace, thank you. That's it right there. Definist fallacy.
Is that
Yep,
it?
that's it.
The etymological one?
Yeah, the Socratic fallacy. Because they take a position. What's funny is the original definition of atheism was one that was very easy to defend because it simply meant you lived without God. It was a life choice, right?
Godless,
you could believe the gods existed. You've just chosen to be godless, and that was what the atheist was. And so it was just a lifestyle. Then it became there is no God, and that did not last very long. That lasted maybe 120 years or so. And then in the 1970s, Anthony Flew redefined what modern atheism is into they don't believe in God, which that is literally the definition of agnosticism, is just a lack of belief because you don't have the information to make a conclusion.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not having and gnosis, knowledge.
Right. If I said Bigfoot does not exist, that is not the same thing as saying I don't believe in Bigfoot. Because a lack of a belief and the positive claim that there is no are mutually exclusive. You can't have both of those. You can't be, because the positive claim is an absolute. The softer part actually excludes the ability to have that positive claim. So there's not even any such thing as like an agnostic atheist. There's no such thing. Oh, I lean atheist, but I'm an agnostic. No, you're just an agnostic. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the reason it had to progress like that was because it's just such lunacy to say that, like, to make the claim that there's no God. So that's why it's progressed into this watered down conflation.
Yeah, and so what happens is they make it impossible to have a conversation because they keep switching back and forth between the two. But I think that's generally why low IQ people are attracted to it.
Well, the brainwashed don't have to wonder.
No, they don't. It's
And
like that
easier
idiot
to
came in
believe
here.
somebody when they have nothing up there anyways, right?
It's like the guy who came in here, Manzo, and said, we're a bunch of flat earthers. I said, I'm not a flat earther because I don't know what the earth is. The earth? How do I know the earth is anything that I would understand? To have any kind of form or shape that I could comprehend from outside of it, for me to say it's this shape or it's that shape. I couldn't do that. It's literally beyond my ability to observe the earth in total to make any kind of claim. All I can say is that what we experience is a plane and what we measure is a plane. And I don't know anything beyond that.
Shape implies measurement.
It does.
I've done
because shape,
digging.
Once you've got geometry, that's it.
I've done a lot of digging in the dirt, like in the earth, for instance, putting in drain fields, leach fields, shit like that, putting in footings. But one thing is you always dig down and then bring it up to level and then to grade.
Yeah.
If you don't have it to grade, then it's not going to drain correctly. Now, why do you have to have a grade if it's a ball? Makes no sense. But on a flat plane, you have to have a grade. Otherwise, water will stand still and back up in the pipe and you have problems.
Yeah, how could you have a grade at all on any kind of a spherical surface? It's like an Alice and Bob like kind of situation.
And you know, the thing that really like convinced me is I'm underneath a house, setting piers and setting the jacks and leveling it, and I'm using this hose, not really understanding how it works. But at the end of the job, I asked the guy, "So how does this thing work?" "Oh, well, water's level." I go, "Yeah, but why and how does that work?" And he goes, "Because that's how it is." And it ended up getting down to it to where he goes, "Well, maybe the Earth's just flat, dude. Think about it." So, and this was an older guy. He was about maybe 63, and he's the one that told me. He's retired now, but shit, that's how a water level works with the datum. Is water's level no matter what. It's going to be at the same height as the datum in that tube. So, I mean, it's just like some people just have never had hands-on experience with like the real world and how things are built and how things are actually done.
That's because atheists can't get jobs.
Well, houses don't have to be exactly square, but it's got to be good enough. Otherwise,
Well, you want
going to land.
Your limit. You kind of want to be 1/16 to 1/4 out of square maximum. Yeah.
But I mean, it's you don't have to be like dead on engineering. It's almost impossible.
No, you don't need it to be within a 1/10,000th of an inch, like you're building a motor.
I mean, like, but they don't know anything. The only research that they do is typing on Google, and you can type on Google, you know, what is the first globe, and it'll come up with some model of the globe. But when you use DuckDuckGo and you ask what is the first globe, it'll come up with a Shakespeare playhouse. And the fact that Shakespeare was the one that coined the term globe, he invented it, meaning theater. The world is a stage, right? The world is a globe.
Isn't the winged disc, though, isn't that not a disc, that's a globe?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a flying orb.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing, is they didn't use the term spheres, they used the term orbs. Right?
Right.
Wasn't the first globe in 1492?
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't know. I can't validate that. So
yeah, I think you're talking about the one that burnt down.
The first globe that can find in history is from 1492. So my point is, it took 1,800 years to build what they thought we lived on, or did they not believe that? Now there are orbs. You said orbs. There are these orbs from the Roman times, but they're not the globe that it's a snow globe. You live inside. It was never you live around it.
right. The word globe is anglicized, but globus is an old word. It's Latin. So globe was just a derivation of globus, but I don't think globus was meant for like perfect sphere. I think it would just meant like roughly ballish, you know.
There's some pictures of like holding like a orb from the like, right before the Renaissance times, like paintings. But this is, if you look at the picture, it's not a globe you live on the outside. You live on the inside, like a snow globe. I just want to make that clear. There are these snow globes pictures that shows a flat land inside of a glass ball.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Not a globe.
I'm talking about something different. It's 1592 is when this was made. It was a playhouse to do Shakespearean plays.
Okay, can you put a link for me, please?
Yeah, I just did. There is another reference, and I do DuckDuckGo, and it has different search results. Hang on.
I'll be honest, I haven't looked up information in years. I just go into conversations. It's just on the fly because I don't know what's going to happen.
And the globe, it's like one of these Pantheon or Parthenon type looking buildings with natural light coming in. But we're oftentimes reminded of a quote, and we can't really pinpoint who created it, but it's a Shakespeare thing. It's from one of his plays from the Globe Theater. The whole world is a stage, right? And we are all just actors acting upon it. So,
well, you know, depending on your particular interpolation of him saying that, you could take that either way. You could take that as him literally saying the world is a stage and we're just actors on it, or you can take that as him saying everything's planned and get all Alex Jones on it. That could actually go either way.
I think they took the idea and went with it. You know, I think they took the meme and made it reality.
I actually don't believe in like direct conspiracy. I believe in general conspiracy, kind of just a second nature of mankind. I don't think there's like a plan.
Yeah.
I think humans are acting in a nature that they can't even control.
Yeah, but I still think that the ones that are in charge are setting stages and they're going out of the Bible like it's a playbook. Just so that they can deceive people to think that the season is upon us. so that they can bring in their new world order. Know what I mean? Their
Yeah,
new world order.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about any of it. It whatever happens, happens. It doesn't bother me.
But they've been working on it so long, and it's been failing every time they do it. So perhaps they shouldn't have a plan.
Well, like I said, do they even have one? Maybe that's the big joke, is that there is no plan.
I look at it in both ways, to be honest. I look at it as in the way where, like, people with family ties, blood ties, they can have a long-term plan because it's going to be passed down to their family, right? Like, I could see that happening, where, like, a bloodline will have a certain plan. But then the people that are, like, just, like, their plans are within their lifetime. They're trying to accomplish things in their lifetime, because of ego or whatever. So I kind of see it both ways, where it's like a little bit of both, and I think it's a lot of fuckery. Like, the people with long plans, and then the people with no plans kind of just going off the cuffs.
Yeah. I see your guys' point of view. Makes sense.
Jesus. We just missed Hank. He was in here, wasn't he? Okay. Hank was in here just a little bit ago. Hold on a second. See, where is... Go to... Manage. Oh my god, we have so many... There. Hey, Drace. Drace.
Yeah, what's up?
Check your rolls.
Oh my god.
Congratulations, man.
Apparently I have the power.
Use it.
Has he got his anal swab so we know he's cleared?
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
You can say hey to everybody in the mod room, too, if you want. In the super secret mod room.
Secret Squirrel headquarters, man. Has it been warm today for everyone, or just me?
Warm here.
Felt beautiful today.
Got up to like 81. I was like, wow.
I just want to say that
Say that again, Gutter.
Well, I'm glad he got that off his chest.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just want to say that... There, I did it perfect. Guys, I'm going to tell you all the super secret way to make as much money as you... Did y'all get that? All right.
Wait, could you say it again?
Yeah, so the other day I was finding...
Now everyone's going to start doing it. Hank Hill.
Hank Hill, what? What? What'd you
No,
say?
I'm pinging Hank. He wasn't on. I'm going to give him mod while he's off. There we go.
What you doing? Are you
Just as a
trying to find-
joke.
Oh, I see. I want to help.
I think his shift starts in a couple hours. Unless he's got the day off. I don't think he gets very many of those.
What's up? Where'd everybody go?
We're just chilling.
Oh, I didn't see you. Sorry. Hi, honey. Sorry. Didn't see you now.
We just entered the new year, 2022. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the age of the sextant. It's time for the globe to recant. And thank you, Toby Dog, for this awesome beat. Let's go. Earth. No matter what you do, it measures flat. They don't know how to cope with that. In denial, thinking Earth is fat. It's flat. Lost in a fallacy, it's just a fantasy. Truth threatened from to be a global conspiracy affecting you and me. It's not meant to be. It's driving to gravity, you don't have no gravity. It's your head just a cavity, that's just a simile. Science cannot see, it's pseudo actually. The loss of humanity, groupthink insanity. Health and you gave it for sanity. Freedom lost rapidly, you gave up happily. Truth has validity, lies fear scrutiny. Objective reality, a global fatality. Public pageantry, lacking veracity. Earth. No matter what you do, it measures flat. They don't know how to cope with that. In denial, thinking Earth is fat. It's flat. A loss of ability, degrading utility, a race of futility. You think this is funny, me? Public cannot see. Just stuck like a tree. They call it university, a death slave undoubtedly. Fury stolen from the heartbreak travesty. They lie to you and me. It doesn't make you free. Where is your equity, culture, antiquity? The stolen your history, unravel the mystery. Don't be lost at sea. We're all one family. Raise the children to be free, don't die or could be. You cannot lie to me, no knowledge is free. Living in reality is the only way to be. Take accountability, find your rationality. Learn the logic and you see, it's just a 43. What's in breaker, take a knee, stop the we and top the plea. Open eyes, see the points, three, undeniably, but not all can see. Especially the pre-programmed NBC with the proud personality and the victim mentality. Living in a normal normality, with genial generality, a hollow superficiality. Earth. No matter what you do, it measures flat. They don't know how to cope with that. In denial, thinking Earth is fat. It's flat. It's time to rise up, come together, teach each other. It's time to rise up, break the bonds from one another. It's time to rise up, I believe in you. They lie to you about everything else. Why would they tell you the truth about where you reside? Brain fried, you don't think you're more easily controlled when the government debunks all the religious views of the world with a lie. The rights of the people come from the creator, something the government could not take away until this. Now most people think the government bestows those rights upon the people who can therefore take those rights away. Those are your freedoms you're giving up and the freedoms of your children. Don't bow before the tyranny, don't believe in this mockery. Getting hooked into your socialist democracy, a communist tyranny, a bold-faced hypocrisy. Obvious for all to see. NASA, Nazi repository, Nazi founded NASA, it's history. Behind the UN as well, so mystery. Do the research, stop the faith, it's your choice, your voice. Use it. 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. Come join us. Peace.
all good though. Better to be a noob than to not be trying hard. You're getting better, bro. You're getting way better. Like it.
I love the part where he sings, "No matter what you do, it measures flat." I love that part, man. That's genius. I love that.
Yeah, I love Chocolate Saiyan and CB and all the other guys' music. I'm just hoping my stuff inspires them a little bit just to make their stuff, because I feel my stuff sucks compared to theirs. But they like my stuff, so, and don't like their own stuff as much, so I'm like, just make more, because I love your stuff. I think everybody has that. Everybody who's not really hyper narcissistic or super far gone on that spectrum tends to just find things they like in other people's things more easily than in their own, versus in their own they see their own mistakes and problems more easily. Like, I know I'm not perfect, but to me it all sounds really bad.
I was going to ask you about that because you seem to be so brave when you put it up and you're in the room when people listen to it, and no one complains, of course. But I'm saying, like that's got to take a lot of balls, even though people wouldn't think so, right?
It would have back in the day. I shattered my ego a while back, and then I watched C put out his music, and then I was like, oh, I can just try to do something, and like I gotta at least be as brave as C. So just face your fears and get over it. And like, I had a hard time talking on the mic in the beginning. I couldn't even record myself in front of anyone. So it's really helped me. Just taking one step further than you feel comfortable with.
What were you going to say, Jenny?
What's up?
Were you going to say something right before?
Oh, I might have, but it's all good. I was just going to ask Drace, do you have anything that you do, like, right before you, like, perform, record yourself, or whatever?
No. I just... when I feel dissonance or these kinds of fear or anything, I face it. I want to face it and get through it so that it doesn't hinder me anymore. That's why, like, I just try to go for it. Just fuck it. kind
of like just jumping into the cold water, even though you know it's cold as hell. Yeah.
I'll flail around at first, and then I'll start to get the hang of it.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be participating in our local open mic night. And so I was able to get an instrumental. Well, I made an instrumental version of the song that I want to sing. So hopefully I can do it justice. But yeah, I get nervous. I know everybody does. But some are better at hiding it.
Yeah. I think practice makes perfect a lot in that sense. Like, it's hardest when you haven't done it or you haven't done it in a long time. Like public speaking and that kind of stuff. If you're not used to speaking in front of a bunch of people or singing in front of a bunch of people, it's gonna be harder the first time. But the more you try it, the easier it gets.
But hey, congratulations on getting mod. Long time coming and well deserved.
Thank you, thank you. I'm happy to be part of the family.
Yes.
Yeah, congrats, Drace. Now you know what you got to do. You got to keep it moderated.
And now it's harder for me to push responsibility up the ladder.
Congratulations, Drace. If anyone deserves it, you do.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
I like right where I'm at, actually.
Yeah, golds have got it pretty good now. Back in the day, when we first started, wasn't like that. Golds have way more power than when we first started.
Yeah, it's kind of like I got downgraded from being able to speak at precious metals. I still have all the same responsibilities. I could just see an extra channel. But now I can't speak during one of the nights.
Yeah.
So I lost that privilege. Yeah, but no, people can't say anything. My karma's correct, because now I'm a mod.
Yeah, but it's only 2 hours.
Good times, good times. If you guys can say nothing, I'll just play something. I could play my logical fallacies videos I just made.
Yes. Yes. That's a great idea, Drace.
I second that.
I heard it.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes is the first one, and 13 minutes and 30 seconds is the second one.
We're good.
Welcome to my presentation on logic. I hope you enjoy. To start with, I feel it's important to understand the different types of reasoning. There are two main types used in the discipline of logic, and they are deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is an inferential process that supports a conclusion with certainty. Inductive reasoning is an inferential process providing support strong enough to offer a high probability, but not absolute certainty, for the conclusion. The attributes of a deductive argument are soundness and validity, and I will define those further, starting with validity. Validity is the attribute of deductive arguments that denotes logical strength. Validity is about the strength of the inference or reasoning between the premises and the conclusion. A deductive argument is valid when you have the following. If all its premises were true, then its conclusion must be true, by necessity. To determine if an argument is valid or invalid, not valid, first assume that the premises are true, even if they are not. Pretend that they are true, then ask yourself whether the conclusion would need to be true, assuming or pretending that the premises are true. Here's an example. Premise 1. All dogs are snakes. Premise 2. All snakes are birds. Conclusion. All dogs are birds. This is illogical or unsound, since the premises are obviously not true. But this is a valid argument regardless, because if all the premises were true, then the conclusion would follow by necessity. The argument therefore has logical strength or validity. Validity is about the form of the argument, not the truth of its premises. Valid arguments may have true premises and a true conclusion, or false premises and a false conclusion, or false premises and a true conclusion. But valid arguments can never have true premises and a false conclusion. In a valid deductive argument, if the premises are true, it is impossible for the conclusion to be false. It is important to keep in mind that just because an argument does have a possibly valid combination of premise-conclusion truth values, for example, true premises and true conclusions, it is not necessarily valid. It must also be logically strong. That example with dogs, snakes, and birds is valid because the true reasoning works. If those premises were true, the conclusion would necessarily follow. Even if the premises are true and the conclusion is true, it does not mean that the reasoning is valid. Here's an example of an argument with a true premise and a true conclusion, but the strength of the connection, the reasoning, from the premises to the conclusion is not valid. The conclusion happens to be true, but not due to any reason provided by those premises. The argument form is invalid, a formal logical fallacy. Premise 1. All dogs are mammals. Premise 2. All collies are mammals. Conclusion. All collies are dogs. This is a categorical syllogism and commits the fallacy of illicit minor, because the minor term is undistributed in the minor premise, but is distributed in the conclusion, as is easy to show by changing the variables. Premise 1. All platypus are mammals. Premise 2. All dogs are mammals. Conclusion. All dogs are platypuses then. Which is why it's important to learn about fallacies. But to summarize, a valid deductive argument is one where it would be impossible for the conclusion to be false, given that the premises were true. The conclusion follows necessarily from the logical connections or reasoning established by the premises. And now on to soundness. Soundness is the attribute of a deductive argument that denotes both the truth of its premises and its logical strength. A deductive argument is sound when it is valid and it has all true premises. For example, premise 1, all cats are mammals. Premise 2, all mammals are animals. Conclusion, all cats are animals. This argument is sound because 1, it is valid, the premises support the conclusion by necessity, and 2, all of the premises are actually true. On the other hand, the example used before to demonstrate validity with dogs, snakes, and birds is not sound, because it does not have all or actually any true premises, but its form is still valid. Sound arguments are rare in today's world, but we must still strive for soundness to remain reasonable. Moving on from deductive arguments to inductive arguments. There are two main attributes of inductive arguments: inductive strength and cogency. Inductive strength is the attribute of inductive arguments that denotes logical strength. An inductive argument is inductively strong when you have the following. If all its premises were true, then it is highly likely or probable that the conclusion would also be true. Strong and weak are the terms used to describe the possibility for the logical strength of inductive arguments. To determine if an argument is strong or weak, first assume that the premises are true, even if they are not. Pretend for now that they are true. Then ask yourself whether it is likely or probable that the conclusion would be true, assuming or pretending that those premises are true. Here's an example. Premise 1. Most peacocks eat oatmeal for breakfast. Premise 2. This bird is a peacock. Conclusion. Therefore, probably this bird eats oatmeal for breakfast. This argument is inductively strong, because if all its premises were true, then it would be highly likely or probable that its conclusion would also be true. Inductively strong arguments may have true premises and a true conclusion, or false premises and a false conclusion, or false premises and a true conclusion. Inductively strong arguments cannot have true premises and a false conclusion. To summarize, a strong inductive argument is one where it is improbable for the conclusion to be false given that the premises are true. A weak inductive argument is one where the conclusion probably would not follow from the premises if they were true. So we should strive to make strong inductive arguments, not weak arguments. On to cogency. Cogency is the attribute of inductive arguments that denotes the truth of its premises and its logical strength. An inductive argument is cogent when it is inductively strong and has all true premises. In this way, it mirrors soundness from earlier. On the other hand, the example from before concerning peacocks used to demonstrate inductive strength is not cogent, because it does not have all true premises. Here's another flawed example from Lumen Learning where they tried to make a cogent argument, but fail. Premise 1. Europa, a moon of Jupiter, has an atmosphere containing oxygen. Premise 2. Oxygen is required for life. Conclusion, thus there may be life on Europa. This argument is far from cogent, yet the assumptions of the author made him assume it is. This argument is inductively strong if we assume it is all true. However, it is far from cogent, since premise 1 assumes Europa has an atmosphere containing oxygen, when that is unverifiable, so not a true premise. And premise 2 assumes oxygen is required for life, when actually there are many forms of life that don't require it. It is only most living things that do. So the conclusion is uncogent, showcasing how hard it is to make sound or cogent arguments. So let me try. Premise 1. Refraction causes chromatic aberration from collimated light, or sunlight. Premise 2. We don't see the expected chromatic aberration in long-range images that violate globe Earth geometry. Conclusion. Refraction is most likely not causing us to see beyond any curves. This argument is cogent because 1. It is inductively strong. If the premises were true, then the conclusion would probably be true. And 2. These premises are actually true, so the conclusion is actually true. In summary, an inductive argument is one in which it is improbable that the conclusion is false given that the premises are true. In closing, good arguments. The important takeaway from the information on the attributes of both deductive and inductive arguments is this. A good argument proves or establishes its conclusion and has two key features. It is logically strong, and all of its premises are true. Logical strength is the degree of support that the premises, if true, confer on the conclusion. This attribute applies to both deductive arguments by virtue of validity and inductive arguments by virtue of inductive strength. A good deductive argument is not only valid but also sound. A good inductive argument is not only inductively strong but also cogent. A sound deductive argument is always stronger than a cogent inductive argument, so we strive to be sound if we can, and when we can't, be cogent. That concludes the first part of my little logic course. I hope you enjoyed this, and I highly recommend the following course on fallacies. Until then, goodbye.
And you got a great voice, Trace. Thank you for doing that.
Is there going to be a test?
Right? I got to listen to that again if there's going to be a test. So much information.
Now, do we require the Globies to watch that before or after they try to foil us?
Well, once they have failed logically, you can just be like, here's a logic course, listen to this, and then come back to us with a logically coherent argument. I also have the second one, which is basically this first one sets you up with the basics of logic, teaching you the differences between how different arguments are defined and how to disqualify some arguments based on just their validity or and how sound they are or not. The second one goes into more common fallacies, and that's essentially a preview of my presentation, which I'm going to be presenting later this month.
You know, it's funny because when going to some of these groups where the Globies congregate, they swear that everything we say is a logical fallacy. And then in turn, when they start going, they usually beg the question or get into a couple other fallacies. So it is really funny. It's like the pot calling the kettle black, and they're really bad about it.
Yeah, it's called the fallacy variation when you just say, "Oh, you're begging the question," and then when the other guy says, "Oh, how am I begging the question?" and he can't explain how you're begging the question, it's just a fallacy variation where you're trying to avoid the point by calling it fallacious when it isn't. The fallacy is when you assume something is wrong because it's argued for by a fallacy, so this is a variation of that fallacy.
Yeah, another one that I think is interesting is I always call it the whack-a-mole argument tactic, where they give you a snow job, and so you talk about one subject, and as soon as you get them to the fact that they can't defend point A, well, rather than continuing to the logical end of point A to whether they then change off to point B, C, D, or N, and then as soon as you get a little bit into there and show that they don't have anything, they either go off somewhere else, say to C, and then when they can't really prove C, then they go back to A, and then next thing you know, you're just like you're playing whack-a-mole with them.
Yeah, that's a known type of trolling. It's called sea lioning. It's a type of trolling which consists of pursuing people with persistent requests for evidence or repeated questions while maintaining a pretense of civility and sincerity, and combined with a red herring to redirect away the argument to another issue which the person thinks they can better respond to. And so they keep doing that, never actually taking in the information and the implications therein. Otherwise, just one of the many points would be too devastating for them to actually handle, so they logically shut down and just forget that. That's why it starts going in circles, because they don't even remember the conversation from before.
Yeah, and so that's why I tend to call them out on that right away. When as soon as they start to change that subject, they say, "Well, that'll be a really interesting point for next time, but now we've been talking about this, so let's continue to talk about this until you either admit that it's wrong or you provide some better evidence or better logic." One of those three things. Which of those three things do you prefer?
Yeah, you can't just leave the topic hanging and then jump to a different topic and then leave that topic hanging and then jump to a different topic and then go back to the first topic that you left hanging before, and then no. That's not a logical conversation. That's people talking in circles.
Are you going to play the other one?
Sure.
So the real question here is, what is it that these logical fallacies present from? Do they typically present from well-intentioned debate, or do they just present themselves from trolling?
They just want to win.
Yeah, it's hard to actually. It's kind of like divining someone's motive, because people come in with different reasons. I would say about majority of them probably come and do it unconsciously, because it is used as an ego defense mechanism to rationalize away the cognitive dissonance, and it's the underlying problem for narcissistic personality disorder. They have these fallacious logic that they build their self-image on, and so they can't really get away from those fallacies, because that would destroy their self-image and ego. So it's defended like crazy.
Yeah, I tend to think that most of them actually come. Yeah, obviously trolls are a different breed, and that you can spot them a million miles away typically. But the well-intentioned people, I think, are probably the ones that fall prey to the logical fallacies a lot more, and then they don't something they're not as conscious of. That they got to a point, and then they legitimately think, well, okay, well, if that's wrong, well, what about this over here? And like you said, then they forgot that you cornered them on point A, and so they deflected to point B. And then that's why a lot of times, if I'm going to continue with somebody, I say, okay, so we can agree that point A is either not correct or it was a weak point. And I try to, and I'll mention it a couple times, to somebody, say, look, well, remember we already spoke about that. You said this. Now, and so I think a lot of times with most people, it's not, say, exposing willfulness. It's exposing the fact that they're not as prepared for the argument as not the argument, but for the debate that they thought they were.
Yeah, if you look at the 7 stages of grief, the 5 first stages, they use fallacies to try to cope with, and especially during bargaining, and with depression, it's generally they're go into like they lie to themselves about themselves, just to like put themselves down, to try to push themselves back into the old way of thinking. So it's kind of important to give them a chance and give them an outlet. Tell them that they can go test it for themselves and they can verify it for themselves, and really hammer that point in, because through the shock, denial, anger, and bargaining, they're not actually taking in anything. They're just trying to hold on to their worldview with desperate grip. They don't really absorb really well. When you're speaking, generally they're in their head thinking about what they're going to say next, or how about how you could talk and they didn't interrupt you, but then when they try to speak, that you eventually interrupted them because you knew exactly what they were going to say. So that kind of builds into their delusional mindset sometimes. So it's important for us to play it nice and let it play out, and let them get out their delusions, so that they can be picked apart and they can see the error themselves, instead of being told there's an error, because they don't want to hear that.
And who does want to think about it? Because if you, who wants somebody to point out that their position could be strengthened? That they're, who really wants to hear that? It's kind of like, imagine if you were going boxing with somebody, and I try not to think of debate as battle or boxing or war or anything like that. Some people do, because they, and I was reading about that recently, because they use that similarity. They say, oh, well, this is like going to war. No, it's not. But if you think of imagine boxing somebody, and all of a sudden the guy says, hey, you know what? I could have really creamed you in the face there, but so why don't you, you should have blocked here, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to hear that, it's embarrassing. So, it's one of the things that it's easy to forget when you're talking to somebody who's well-intended and they're using various fallacies is it's embarrassing to be called out that they made a point and then you're saying, there's an error in that. It's just flat out embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it's, but you, if you're going to continue on a debate with somebody, it's the correct called for thing to say, look, why don't you try that again? Why don't you try that again? And instead of begging the question, why don't you try to rephrase it a little bit? I want to see where you're coming from, but it's hard to see where you're coming from because you were begging the question or you were using slippery slope or whatever. And it's, it's the right thing to do. And then is to give somebody the opportunity to correct their error so you could further the conversation rather than end the conversation. But unfortunately, these things are used on Fascist Book and other places to end conversations, not to further conversations. So as soon as you say something, they think, oh, gee, and you've ended the conversation, unfortunately, with most people.
Well, it depends on if you're having a debate or a discussion. I mean, a debate, the aim is to win. A discussion is to gain knowledge, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, this is why the Socratic method is so strong, because when they want to punch you, you just say, I don't know, and you're like they're punching gas. They can't hit you. You're not there.
Yeah, one day I was in a conversation with somebody, and, this ended up, I should say one day, I should say 1 week, because this went over 4 or 5 days through. Yep, got a work call. I'll be back here shortly.
Creation Bear is so funny. But, yeah, it's hard sometimes to, in the moment, respond perfectly, because we're all human beings. We all have our own problems and own views on things that, especially on what's perfect. So it's hard to do everything perfect. But at least what we try to do is improve as much as we can and acknowledge our issues and our problems, which I really like.
Amen to that. I like that.
Yo, what's happening, guys?
What's up, Frank?
What's up?
How much, man?
We got a BC verified guy in here called Frank.
Hey, welcome.
Yeah, yes, you can call me Frank, call me ANF, call me Francesco, you can call me anything.
Did you just now come in, or have you been listening for a while?
I've only just come in now.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I have been here before.
Okay. Where do you stand on the topic?
Personally, I don't believe the Earth's flat, but I like listening to stuff. It's cool. You know, I need proof that the Earth is flat, and then I probably believe in it.
Wait, I didn't hear the last part.
Huh?
I didn't hear so much of the last part, sorry.
I just said I need proof. I'm open to all ideas.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Are you a flat earther?
Well, yeah. I don't think it's a globe. It can't be a globe.
Yeah.
There's two different kinds of conversations we could have. We could talk about how the heliocentric theory has to be thrown out, or we can talk about how the Earth is observably and measurably flat. We see too far, according to the heliocentric theory.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah,
tonight, I don't have enough time to really talk. I just wanted to join and see what's up tomorrow.
Your mic isn't very good. I don't know if anybody else.
Yeah, it seems to be fading out.
Yeah, sorry, I'll talk closer then, but I don't have enough time to talk tonight because I'm going to go to sleep now. But
Hey, it's all good, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Alright, yeah, I'll come and join tomorrow. Goodbye.
Alright, bye. Hopefully he'll be thinking about flat Earth before he goes to bed. That'd be cool, right?
You seem genuine.
Yeah, and I'm back, by the way.
Alright. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm hanging out here at work on the back porch for another 22 minutes. We'll see if I get another call or not. But yeah, but as I was saying earlier, is this debate that I was having on here was continuing. And so the person to me said, well, flat Earth people think that the sun is 3,000 miles off the ground. So I said, okay, really? I said, I don't know what the distance of the sun off the ground is. Do you have a source for that? He was trying to back me in the corner to get me an answer or something. I said, do you just have any one source that says that? And I'd be interested to read it, and then I could tell you my opinion on what you send over to me.
Right.
And, eventually, he got so angry that Facebook, its fascist book itself, not the group moderators, but fascist book itself, muted him, told him him on some ban.
Well done, sir. Well done.
He messaged me privately, right? And I didn't actually respond to that. I just blocked it, and because I didn't want to talk to somebody privately like that. And then I took the low road, and I put on there, well, I don't know what happened. I guess that you weren't interested in the conversation anymore, but thank you for stopping by. Once you have some evidence, but please send it to me. Then somebody else started picking in. I said, okay, great. Just like I said to him, what's your evidence of that claim? Just one piece of evidence. I'm like, it ought to be really easy because you said flat earthers believe that universally. And guess what? Like 4 to 5 different people kept on that. Like one person would drop off, and then another one would get on, and then and I just kept going, okay, well, what's your source for that? And they threw a hissy fit.
Wow, man. How did you come across that?
I don't recall if that was I can't recall which group.
Was that just some random post, or were you on a group flat Earth site?
I want to say it was on a group. Maybe I don't think it was the pilots and friends discussing the flat Earth, or
pilots talk about that.
Yeah, there's a fascist.
Do you have a link for that? Do you have a link for that? Oh, wow. Does anybody else know about that, you guys?
Yeah, pilots and friends supporting the flat earthers.
Well, okay, is it a trolley site or is it a genuine, like, group?
So they allow globies until they start to get to some point, but this cat, the one cat I was telling you about, Facebook itself moderated, not the group moderators,
That's
but it's
crazy, man.
Yeah, they don't they don't like very quickly throw out
Well, the reason why I asked you that question a second ago is because anybody could say they're a pilot.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
That's why I asked you if it was a trolley site.
Yeah, no, of course. I've had actually some pretty good conversations in there. And then, but yeah, I've actually had really good luck of reporting globe trolls, and Facebook puts them in Facebook jail and stuff, and then I magically hear from them exactly 30 days later.
How did you find out about Flat Earth, if you don't mind me asking?
So I've known about it since 2008. A good friend of mine who had traveled to all 6 continents had, when I was going over to his place, he was a reptile collector. So he went around collecting snakes on every continent. And yeah, very, very world famous snake expert. And so I went over there one day. His wife was Brazilian. And so I came in and he had probably like 2 or 3 reams of printouts and several different books. And they were pretty much all in Portuguese. And he was telling me how the earth is flat and how that's universally accepted in Brazil.
Whoa!
And
in 2008, high five, bro. That is awesome that your life was changed forever in that moment. I'm so happily jealous for you. That's great to hear.
Yeah, and and I started reading some of these things, and they were showing these stars in Brazil that you should not be able to see.
Whoa!
Yeah, like there's one constellation called the Three Marias.
Okay.
And you're not supposed to be able to see that in Brazil, but you can.
You need to tell more people. I mean, is this something you investigated personally and all that? That's what I'm getting from you.
Oh, no, I've not been to Brazil, so I can't go down there and see. But
okay.
But
those points are really good to hear. You know, another good thing that I always get excited about hearing, and that is simultaneous observations from different parts of the quote-unquote globe. Those are great. I mean, I'm not an authority on that topic, but I always yeah.
Well, my thing that I like to use for anybody who does any amount of traveling at all is to say, well, why does the horizon always meet you at eye level?
Right? Isn't that a coincidence? That's quite the coincidence that keeps happening, no matter where you are.
No matter how
even
high
if you're in excess, even if you're in excess of 120,000 feet. Isn't that weird? That's so weird.
And what
I get excited about
this is go take a look. You know, and I say, you know what, when you run the road next time, just pay attention. When you go up the top of a hill, look. When you go to the bottom of a hill, look. It'll always meet you at eye level. And then, you know, it's not like a quick thing because obviously they have to start doing some traveling, but that will never leave them. If they do it the first time and they go to the top of a hill and they see that it meets them at eye level, they will never again look at the world any other way.
Bizarre. It's bizarre that all of us were bamboozled. It's so bizarre thinking about stuff like that. I mean, well, what you're entering into is the idea of 5D chess, right?
Yeah. Pretty much it's 5D chess, like you say. But, you know, ultimately what I find is when you get people off a fascist book, you'd be surprised how many people are actually you say a couple things like that, like, well, why is it that Mercury and Venus are supposedly closer to the sun than us, but we can't see it until the Earth turns away from the sun? And they go,
if
what?
people don't know, okay, thanks to the indoctrination centers, we weren't taught stuff like that about the heliocentric theory, like how to really, truly think about the positions of what we're told of the model. It can't even be called a model. And that's just like, that could be an hour conversation, just that.
Yeah, and I've been having fun with sending the Neil deGrasse Tyson when talks about gravity, because that's another thing that trolls like to say, "Oh, you flat earther, you can't believe in gravity." I say, "Well, right. what gravity do you want me to believe in?"
Exactly.
And they start to tell me something, and then I post the video of Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, "We don't know what gravity is," and I go back and say,
I don't know. I say we start a campaign to get Neil deGrasse Tyson into one of those fancy space suits and into a vacuum chamber. I think he should be nominated #1, first to go.
Man.
Yeah. I tell you what, I actually think he does a lot more good for our side. Like, I actually think this fake professor is actually flat Earth. I actually think he really is.
Wait, what? Say that last part again. I was voting.
This fake Professor Dave who's on YouTube.
Yeah, he's pretty popular around here when we're talking about Globers. Yeah.
I've actually been wondering recently if he's actually a flat earther.
I'm sure everybody would enjoy hearing your points on that, for sure.
Just because he's so far out there, it's almost like he's trying to, how much money can I make from these stupid people to think that this is what we actually think?
That is a trend amongst content creators, unfortunately. Whatever opportunity they see.
I mean, he focuses on it so much, and he comes up with the most ridiculous stuff. I mean, I've tried to watch 2 of his videos, and I couldn't get past minute number 3.
I think it's Indio that does videos on he doesn't personally attack him or anything like that, but I think I've heard him talk about him. Other than that, I don't know if he's done videos in response to prove that he's full of shit. I think he has, but I can't say 100%.
I would never want to lose Tyson.
I think the lady does protest too much.
Wait, what, Trace?
Yeah, I would never want to lose Tyson to the vacuum chamber. I would send Brian Cox.
I'm not sure who that one is.
What? Yeah, you do.
I'll change my vote. Brian Cox is.
You know who he is. Can somebody do a link?
He's the guy with the feather and the bowling ball in the vacuum chamber. He's the guy who claimed 2 vacuum chambers separated at different altitudes will show a difference in the rate of drop of things. But this has never been repeated.
And what's his name again? Make sure that I heard it right.
Brian Cox. He used to be a singer or something, and then he became the acolyte of one of the pseudoscientists, and since then he's been a science communicator.
Yeah, aka actor.
Yeah, he was an actor. Is he Scottish? Or is he Brian Edward Cox, CBFRS, born 3 March 1968?
I think he's sus all around from whatever I've heard. I can't recall to state it, so forgive me, but...
Oh, here we go. Brian Cox breaks down the science behind Don't Look Up or whatever. Okay.
I mean, his relations, who he's related to. I think I heard that being talked about. I think on the radio, actually. So, yeah.
Brian Cox has done a bunch of work on TV with the quantum physics, whole series of them. Also guest speaker on the film What the Bleep Do We Know, which was a bunch of numpties. I mean, theoretical physicists. Some of them were pretty cool. Talking about the quantum.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not familiar with them, but you have to look them up a little more. I just did a quick Google search there.
Okay, then I will go with the even more relatable Bill Nye because he lied to the children for decades.
Yeah, these are criminals against humanity, people, for anyone listening.
You know, when I was a kid, we had Mr. Wizard, and at least he did tests. At least he got on and showed you how to do the tests of whatever.
So yeah, the reason why I would say crimes against humanity is because of what Trace mentioned a few minutes ago, that they're lying to children. And you can't tell me that these people are passing along misinformation. Oh, no, no, no. They are progenitors of disinformation because they know. So yeah, they should be subject to any and all ridicule, in my opinion. I don't know what anybody else thinks.
Yeah, it's... Yep, they schlep for whatever dollar. They'll just, more or less, they'll read whatever comes off the teleprompter. The prompter told me so.
And we got somebody snoring.
Well, hello there. Wake up.
Who was it?
Crack villain. I think he fell asleep.
Oh, yeah, he was tired a long time ago. I'm surprised he held up this long.
I'm just saying, if they want us to believe that these suits can protect people in a vacuum environment, put them in there. Show me.
I need to prove it.
Now, Jenny, are you on Fascist Book?
Wait, what now?
Are you on Fascist Book?
I am, and I'm streaming this on there.
Ah, cool.
If you were asking me a question, I have to apologize. I didn't. Can you translate it for dummies or something? Sorry.
Yeah,
Maybe
he was asking you if you had a profile on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I do, but I don't go on Facebook. I mean, me and my mom talk on Messenger, but it doesn't really matter what you use. I mean,
I have a hidden group on there of us Flat Earth group moderators and content creators. A couple moderators here from the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord have joined it. I'm one of the administrators of the Flat Earth or Florida Flat Earth Fascist Book Group.
you did say fascist.
The Fascist Book Group.
Okay. So I'm not really into, I don't mind talking about it and stuff, but I'm not really into labels and knowing what they are, like especially with politics. Oh my God. I kind of know like in context what it means, but do you mind elaborating on it?
Well, I'm referring to Facebook, which is, of course, one of the most fascist organizations around.
Okay, so instead of saying Facebook, you say fascist. Okay, fascist book. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Sorry that took so long. I apologize. I have been doing other things in my defense while I've been listening.
Hey, no, don't need to defend yourself. No, if you didn't know, you didn't know.
But okay, so fascist. Anyway, I wouldn't mind reviewing that if you're familiar with the topic and talking about it for real quick, because it is. I would contend it is absolutely true. Same thing.
He's calling it what it is
Right.
instead of giving them publicity by repeating their retarded name.
Yeah, I'd be hip to passing that along. Yeah, being on that trend. So fascism, is that like another word saying it's communism?
Kind of. I mean, it's. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say fascism is basically just corporate government.
Oh, corporate government. Well, I always thought Facebook was something a little more involved with intrigue and, government oversight. Let's just say that. Does that jive with anybody?
And that's fascism, more or less.
Well, no, because there's a specific organization in the United States that would kind of maybe oversee that.
A fascist organization.
No, not the fascist. No. An official ABC government, whatever you want to call it, organization that would be, I don't know, kind of like the news. They kind of cover all the bases. I mean, we're being recorded, so I'm just kind of tiptoeing into this topic if you guys feel me on that.
Yeah, and that's the very definition of fascism. That's my point. That's how the name comes about.
All right. All right, I'm trying to form a picture here, sure.
Yeah. Now, who said that you were streaming it on?
I am.
Yeah, that's why it's called live stream, where you are. That's why it's the title of the...
Right, because I thought... So where all is it streamed? YouTube and Fascist Book?
I got it streaming to YouTube, Facebook, DLive, Mob Crush, which is another aggregate to stream to other like platforms like Facebook for pages and groups. So
we're on all different platforms, actually.
Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, we've been around together with Discord for 5 years. So the admins and most of the mods.
Yeah, I set up the Florida Flat Earth group on Fascist Book last year, ideally so we could get meetups going, and we've been having a lot of meetups here. And
you know what? Do you know Flat Earth Goddess?
Met her last Sunday. She came down to...
Yeah, because she said she was going to a Flat Earth meetup. Yeah. Was that yours then?
I'm not the one who organized that, but that's about an hour north of where I live. But yeah, I was up there Sunday, and her and Zulu Hotel came. They got there a little late, so we met at a restaurant. There was several of us there, and we ate after the meetup. It was it was very nice.
Right on. Very nice.
Yeah, we've got so that day there was one in Palm Bay, there was one in Miami the same day. Then this weekend it's in Fort Pierce, and then next weekend it's in Jupiter, and I can't remember when they have it in Fort Lauderdale. So we're trying to set up all through the state on a regular monthly schedule.
So is there an ideal observation point in Florida?
Well, I mean, like, as far as, you're talking about, like, with it using a camera and...
Well, no, you could use mirrors. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Well, Florida's very flat. So Florida, since especially along the coast, is very, very flat. And somebody on here was showing me a graph that I forget if they drove from Jacksonville to Key West, and the highest elevation was over the bridge to Key Largo from Homestead. And Florida's very flat, so there's a lot of great places to look around.
I mean, for those that showed up for whatever meetups, I mean, do you guys do follow-ups and, like, see who has what kind of equipment and knowledge and all that, or what?
Oh, yeah, we discuss things to do. Normally we meet at a park, because with the park you don't really have to spend an hour dealing with waiter or waitress and then figuring out who can eat what food. And
Yeah, because a lot of times people travel hours to go to meetups.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we're trying to get them set up all over the state. So ideally, the goal is to have one that somebody could drive to at some point during the month in about a 45-minute drive. Hopefully, we'll get there within the next year or two, and because they have just been tremendous amounts of fun. We've had several in Jupiter, and so that's what's been a lot of fun, is getting people in person. And I wonder how these trolls would be if they actually came in person.
Well, it's happened at a Flat Earth conference. I know that.
Violent.
Pretty uncomfortable.
They would show up and try to sabotage everything, be violent, try to incite violence.
Well, they would probably call in a bomb threat and say you're all terrorists.
Is that what you do, Sasha?
Wow. I've never done that. I've never done that, Joshua.
Awkward.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I usually go live for a few minutes, about 8:15, somewhere in there on the Florida Flat Earth group, and ramble on about some nonsense. And,
well, it sure is nice hearing from a Flat Earth warrior on another platform. High five, brother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And that's why I set up the group that it's for the various moderators and content creators. I've got it hidden so somebody can't search and find it, but it's ideally Ariel's on there and a couple others that we can. We don't discuss we've not discussed a whole lot on there yet. Every now and then I'll post a question or whatever, but it's I'm hoping that we can try to do things a little more to where, like, to drive people back and forth between all of our different ones. Because believe it or not, when I talk to people on Facebook or wherever else, most of them have never heard of Discord. I go into Discord. A lot of people know I don't use Facebook. Right. I get on Telegram. No, I don't use either. I don't know anything about Facebook. I don't know anything about Discord. So I'm hoping that we can kind of coordinate a little bit and kind of introduce people around and maybe broaden some of our connections and such.